Hello everyone, it's me, Mario C, and today we are back with another video looking at some of the key changes that have just dropped in the mining update. I am currently on the main server and we have some exciting things to get into. The long-awaited modernizing mining update has just come to the main server. We are still waiting on the official patch notes, but we have all of the changes that were expected now on the main server. I'm going to go through the top 10 things that you should probably care about in no particular order, but we're going to just look at the things, so just a small fraction of the things that have changed in this update. The number of changes in so many different parts of mining is absolutely gigantic, and for anyone that didn't know about or didn't read the alpha patch notes, the page was probably the single longest patch notes that have been added ever, and then there were like half a dozen daily updates with many revamp. Basically, this update is massive. The number of changes is huge, and I highly recommend that you get on and explore all of the new changes for yourself. But we're going to go and try and go through some of the most important ones right here, right now. The first one, the long-awaited change, is if you click on the crystal nucleus and then click on this new icon, you can access the crystal nucleus RNG meter. As you can see by its description, you will get 1000 nucleus XP for every nucleus run you do, and you will be able to take that stored XP and get a potential nucleus RNG drop. It is not like other RNG meters, ? You will see that there is no indication that the actual chance has been increased. That might just be a visual thing. It may also increase the chance, but we have an official amount of runs needed to get the Quick Claw, which is 450 runs, the Devan's Alloy, which will require 1000 runs, and various other items that you can guarantee with various other numbers of runs. Thing we care about, or one of the new items, is also in here, the Dwarven Gemstone Grahams, but we'll get onto that in a little bit. But that is the first of many changes, is that the Crystal Nucleus now has an RNG meter, which is pretty awesome. The next thing we're going to talk about is some of the changes to the Heart of the Mountain. A lot, and I do mean a lot, of the perks in the Heart of the Mountain tree has been revamped. If you log on, you will notice a big message saying that your Heart of the Mountain tree was reset due to the recent balance update. Powders and tokens have been refunded, blah blah blah. So you'll need to reallocate all of your Heart of the Mountain tokens and take a look at some of the new perks. When looking at the Heart of the Mountain tree, you will see that there has been a number of changes. I'll go over some of the important ones now. For one, mining speed boost has been nerfed into the ground. Not only has the additional speed boost you get been heavily reduced, you can see that the duration for the level 2 pickaxe ability is 10 seconds, which is obviously not very good at all. The admins have been very adamant about bringing up other abilities and also simultaneously nerfing the potency of mining speed boost to try and make more abilities useful, at least in different settings. If we now look at some of the other abilities, we can see that Picobulus is actually unique in its incredibly low cooldown, 60-second cooldown with the 3-block explosion radius. If you have various items that reduce that pickaxe ability cooldown even more, you might be able to make use of this, or you will be able to make use of this very often compared to other pickaxe abilities. Other pickaxe abilities include a Maniac Miner, which you'll notice has a fortune cap now, and also has twice the cooldown it had before. So this is nowhere near as broken as it was on my recent post. That, I think, makes a lot of sense, considering how potentially powerful it was. The Gemstone Infusion has been changed. Sheer Force is adding mining spread. I mean, there is a lot in the Heart of the Mountain tree that has changed, and I highly advise that you read up on it. There are some very, very fundamental changes to the Heart of the Mountain tree. The other most important ones is that you now start using gemstone powder from Heart of the Mountain 4, because you will also notice that access to the Crystal Hollows is now allocated at Heart of the Mountain 4 and not Heart of the Mountain 3. One of the key changes in this update is that Mining Fortune now applies to all type of mineable items in the game, and the different types of mineable items have been split into 4 categories. Those are ores, gemstones, block fortune, and last but not least, dwarven metal fortune. Fragilis here has guides on all of the different types of blocks and what falls under the ore classification, including sulfur, nether quartz, all of the pure ores and all of the vanilla ores, as I said before, all of the different types of blocks, which includes glowstone and cobble and stuff like that, dwarven metals, as I've already explained, and gemstones, as I've already explained. Other new stats include the addition of mining spread. This is your chance to mine adjacent blocks, ores, and dwarven metals, but importantly, not gemstones. This has the effect of Efficient Miner no longer applying to regular gemstones, which is very important, because you will no longer be able to use Efficient Miner to mine lots of blocks. This has consequences in mining commissions, especially in the glacial tunnels, but you can think about the consequences of that. Either way, there are lots of ways to get mining spread, also lots of ways to get mining spread for specific areas of the game. For instance, the mole perk, which originally gave adjacent blocks broken on hardstone, which was obviously an essential perk for powder mining, that has now been integrated into the new system. And taking a look at it, we can see that mole grants mining spread on hardstone, so you can see how adjacent block broken perks have now been reintegrated into this system. Now, to show you what this now maxes out at, we can see that after spending a huge amount of gemstone powder in that one perk, I was able to get 400 mining spread while mining hardstone. You'll note that this is significantly less than old mole, but you should also remember that this is additional mining spread, and that regular mining spread from all other sources also applies. But either way, enough about mining spread and the new stats. Let's move on to the next thing. We now hop back over to the Forge to take a look at the new revamped Forge menu, with a whopping 7 Forge slots, which are unlocked at basically every Heart of the Mountain level, up to and including Heart of the Mountain 7. This will allow you to hopefully forge a lot more items, and as you can see, when clicking on the Forge slot, you will open a sub-menu which segments the different Forge items into different categories, including pets, like the ones that you get in the glacial tunnels, but also pet items. Gemstones, specifically perfect gemstones, are all found in there. Reforged stones, drill parts, tools, forging, refining, and gear. There is a whole lot here. You can explore where things are for yourself, but they have revamped the menu. They've, generally speaking, reduced forge times for items. However, there are some things that are still quite a pain to make. For example, mithril plates. These are base forge times because I don't currently have that perk active, but they've just cleaned up the forge, but most importantly they've given you 7 different forge slots, so you're unlikely to run out. They've also given you a new book of forge recipes, which you can then look through all of the forge recipes you've unlocked and see what it takes to make certain things. But yeah, you can have a look and explore that, but generally speaking, more forge spots and a cleaner forge menu. Walking into the Royal Mines, which is just below the Palace Bridge, you will be able to see new pure ores have been added in large veins for different types. That includes redstone, lapis, gold, emerald, iron and diamond and coal can all be found in and around the royal mines and close to the Great Ice Wall. These new veins will provide excellent ore mining capabilities. You'll be able to see that these pure ores can now be mined with mining spread, including mining spread obtained from mineral armor. And these pure ores should be giving you a huge quantity of materials. I just finished a event. The Goblin Raid event is one of the Dwarven events, and it gives the new ultimate enchant required for drills and mining tools. It goes up to level 3, and it at that level would give you 3 mining speed, capping at 200 blocks, which means that you can get up to 600 mining speed while mining consecutively. This is a pretty significant buff, and it will give you a lot of mining speed at basically any point in the game, especially, I mean, you can get this very easily doing Dwarven events early game, which means that flow state represents a massive amount of potential mining speed that you'll want to get your hands on. Now, apart from just flow state, you can also get other items. Dwarven events are very important because they are now the main source of mithril powder. You can see that 15,000 mithril powder was given to me by the Goblin Raid event, as well as, because we got the bonus for that event, I got a second item, which includes the Dwarven treasure, and there are various other items that you'll have to find out for yourself that you can loot from the Dwarven events. But most importantly, you'll want to do lots of them because they are great for mithril powder and great to get the new, very important, very good flow state ultimate enchant. The next thing I want to talk about is changes to powder mining. There is quite a lot to mention, or that is worth mentioning here, so I'm going to try and go over it relatively quickly. You now get a lot of hardstone because hardstone now uses regular mining fortune. Now, the important change to powder mining is that you can actually no longer get mithril powder from powder chests. We can see from my little powder tracker, because that is actually easier to use, is that the amount of gemstone powder I'm getting is quite significant and quite frequent, but more importantly, I am not getting any mithril powder, which is a very crucial detail, because it now means that the way you get powder has changed completely. At least for mithril and gemstone. You now get a lot more gemstone powder, but you're able also simultaneously to take advantage of how much mining spread will improve how many blocks you can mine. And you can probably hear just by the dingings that the amount of chests I'm getting, mining lots of blocks, getting lots of chests, and that is very, very good. It's not even 2 times powder right now, and in just a few minutes, or I think in just a couple minutes, honestly, I've managed to get 40,000+ gemstone powder. And that means that getting and acquiring gemstone powder, but also acquiring large amounts of hardstone, is far, far easier. So just to recap, the main changes to powder mining is that you now get a lot more gemstone powder from powder mining in the crystal hollows, but simultaneously we have completely lost the ability to gain mithril powder from the crystal hollows as well. This means that you're going to need to do a lot of dwarven events, not just to get the new items, but to get the new mithril powder. Thankfully, as I showed briefly earlier, the amount of mithril powder you do get from dwarven events is quite large, but they are also somewhat infrequent. So it's going to be, I think, probably overall a little bit harder to get the powder you need. One of the other major changes to this update is that a lot of the mining pets have been revamped, and you might be able to tell by the fact that I'm going into the crystal or into the magma fields that one of those is Bow. Now, Bow has been changed significantly. It no longer has the 15% multiplicative bonus while underground, and that means that it's had a lot of its perks changed. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and argue that this pet is actually still pretty damn good. And the reason it's pretty damn good is that it has 100 base mining fortune, and it has 3 pristine while in magma fields, which is quite a lot of pristine. If you remember the 15% multiplicative, you need about 20 pristine, I think, for plus 3 pristine to be the same as a 15%, specifically for pristine. So this should actually give you more pristine in the magma fields than you would have been getting with the other thing. The other thing is that my heat is going up very slowly, and there's actually a sound effect that shows it. The reason it's going up so slowly is that I have a lot of heat resistance. Now, some of that heat resistance is coming from my Armour of Divan, but most of it is coming from the Bow Pet. Now, this Yogg is being a handy demonstration, because with the Bow Pet equipped, when I kill mobs, and when that thing dies and gives me combat XP, my heat disappears, which means you only need to kill some mobs every few moments to reduce your heat. Now, there are other things you can actually do too. If for some reason you manage to find yourselves inside of some magma fields lava, you should notice that your heat will be going up quickly. I think falling in lava might be slightly bugged, but you'll notice that your heat is going up. If you leave the magma fields, you'll see that that heat is already disappeared. The heat goes down very quickly, so what I just wanted to talk about, the fact that heat is a thing, and that Bow is, it basically renders it almost meaningless. I'm going to do a whole fiesta later, probably in the Ruby Mines, to see how it has changed, and then I'll see if it's any good or not, basically. Now that I have finished talking about the change to heat, I want to go ahead and look at some of the other mining pets very briefly. Now, the Mithril Golem remains really good for combat stats on the mining islands. That's going to be relevant to point number 2. The Mole pet has been changed so that the automaton parts now drop their parts. Did I just say automaton parts drop their parts? Automatons drop their parts 50% more frequently, which might be really good for grinding automatons for parts. Figures, right? Self-explanatory, I would say. The Goblin. The Goblin is a mining pet that has had its one of its perks changed. Its new perk, Fetid Thief, gives you a mining spread in the Mines of Divan. Now, that might be better than certain other pets while mining in the Mines of Divan. I'll have to do some testing myself to know for sure. But one other thing to note is that we also have updated Scather. Scather now gives Gemstone Fortune as one of its perks, in addition to its base mining fortune, which means that specifically for gemstones, the mining fortune you get from Scather is going to be even better. Obviously, Bow is superior in the magma fields because of how good Pristine is, but Scather is even better for gemstone fortune. Now that we've talked about Mole, the Goblin, and Scather, the final pet I want to talk about is the Armadillo. Now, you may have seen me using this bad boy earlier, but one of its perks is that it gives 500 mining spread while mining hardstone. And I believe we should be able to see its effects very clearly. Now I'm mining quite a significant amount of blocks with just the armadillo on, but when I take it off, that goes back to 1 block per tick, which means that with armadillo equipped and turning mole and efficient miner back on, even when I'm not on the armadillo, you can mine an extremely large amount of hardstone, which is worth bearing in mind. Anyway, let's move on to from the pets and look at the next thing.
Wait a second. Core of the mountain fully reset.
Oh! That's why I had more gemstone powder than I should have. Wait. Oh yeah, they refunded it. They refunded Core of the Mountain. Oh, that's why mining speed boost is so terrible.
Tokens. That's why I didn't have all the tokens I needed.
Oh god, okay, yeah. That's an important detail.
Sense.
Okay, how much does... Okay, I cannot max the pristine perk. How many levels can I get? I can get 8 levels. Holy crap! The 9th upgrade costs 1 million glaciite powder. And then the 10th costs more than that.
4.8 million to max out.
That's fucked, bro. Wait, 4.8 million?
Total glaciite.
I spent 2.2 million and I'm 8 out of 10. What? How much was the final level?
I don't know. I instantly upgraded it to 10.
Sorry, how much did you say? I can figure it out.
4.8.
4.8. So it went from 3.2 to 4.8 on the last level. Is that 1.6? 1.6. Oh, Jesus Christ. So I'm not even halfway there. God, that's the truth. Why the fuck do I have 22 pristine in magma fields? How has my pristine gone up that much? What? What? Bro, sentry cakes are broken. I don't know what's going on with sentry. Oh wait, I activated gemstone infusion, that's why. That's part of why. Something is wrong with sentry cakes. Something is very wrong with sentry cakes. Because I just in slash stats. I have 5 pristine from Sentry Cake, and I have 5 gemstone spread from Sentry Cake. Is it just a visual bug then? Holy... That just broke 2. I have the gemstone spread. It's real. It's not fake. It's not lying to me. And the last but not least clip that I wanted to include is a change or a specific perk that has been changed in the Heart of the Mountain menu. Now, the name of that perk is Lonesome Miner. And taking a look at its description, you can see that it increases your strength, crit chance, crit damage, defense, and health by 27% while on mining islands. I am in currently a somewhat okay Mastiff set with a Pooch sword. Most importantly, I have 740 magical power and I'm using the shaded power. And with that, with 1 piece ancient and some dungeon equipment, I, with a Pooch sword, not even full ancient, not even withered Pooch sword, you know, just this, not even suspicious on the sword, I can do enough damage to one-shot ghosts, just about, which is pretty damn cool. That is going to be very important for ghost grinding, especially for people like me. If you're an Iron Man that is trying to get their ghost grinding going, you'll be able to do it potentially much easier with the help of the Lonesome Miner perk. I want to give a final honourable mention to the Reforged Stones tab of the new Forge menu. There are a lot of new things in here, and most importantly, a lot of these buffs have been changed. For example, the Pocket Iceberg is now a thing that increases the breaking power of your mining tool. So the long and short of it is that there is a huge amount to change, even with a top 10 going over a wide variety of changes in this update. I was not even able to cover everything, and I wouldn't have been able to cover anything even if I'd gone for like another hour. All I can say is that there is a lot of fun stuff to explore. Hop on, look and see what works, what doesn't, what you want to mine, what is incredible to mine now that was bad before. There's just, yeah, there's a lot to do. Mining has been completely revamped. It will never be the same again. And hopefully, if you're going to be grinding Nucleus runs, I wish you luck in getting a divan drill. And on that note, that is where I'm going to leave it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.